This is the brand new Kia EV6. It's fresh onto the market. In fact, as soon as Kia got these cars, they had to give them to people like me to get the word out there that they're here. You may even, in fact, have already seen this car, this exact car, on the channel a couple of videos back. But this is a more thorough, in-depth review of the car. I've lived with it for a week now, and together I'll bring you through the things I think are cool, some things that are a little bit strange, and overall, should this be on a really tight shortlist of electric vehicles if you're in the market for one? I'll save you the time of watching the whole video and say it's really, really good, but please do stick with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do. And there's ways to support us on Patreon from €5 per month if you want to click on the description down below. So what is it? It's Kia's offering as a competitor to something like the Tesla Model Y. I mean, that's a bold statement to make, but in many ways this car can put it up to the Tesla. This thing can charge at over 200 kilowatts. It'll do to 80% in 20 minutes if you get that right charger. Much like the Model Y, it's quite a big car now. It's a lot more of a coupe stance about it, but there's plenty of space in it, and really you have to see it in the flesh for it to fully do it justice. So you have a really, really big boot in the back, just like a Tesla. It's got a large battery, so this is a 77 kilowatt hour battery, usable about 74. That can deliver a range of over 500 kilometers. The weather at the moment is 9 degrees, so fully charged from this, when I plugged it out, it was at about 370 kilometers. This car has a frunk, which means you can store cables, and it's just handy for items that you can chuck in. You know, there's no engine, there's a motor, so you don't need all the space that would normally come with a traditional petrol or diesel engine car. So a bit of extra storage in here for cables is always welcome. And the front nose is so sharp, really sleek. The headlights are very unusual and really bright. And because Kia have refreshed their logo in the last 12 months, it has had people saying to me, what is that? Down here is a plate for your radar guided cruise control, which comes on the GT spec of this car. Sitting on 20-inch alloy wheels, really, really big, but handling of the car, not compromised. More about that later on in the video. Big chunky side mirrors, which kind of have little grooves in them. The door handles pop out just to make it easier to get into the car, and this car is keyless, so you just have the key in your pocket, you walk up to it, they'll pop out, in you jump. In Ireland anyway, we're not going to get the dual motored, all-wheel drive, almost 600 brake horsepower version of this car. Couple of reasons. One, I'd imagine it would be close to €70,000, and I just don't know how many people are going to buy that. And then the grants in Ireland now cap off at €60,000. So after grants of €5,000, this car is just under 55, like €5. And the Earth model starts at 50. And I think anything more than that, and even at this, these are very expensive cars. I'm not sure people would part for that. And do you need an all-wheel drive electric car with almost 600 brake horsepower? I don't know. It'd be fun, but I don't know. I've deliberately left the lights on to show you this massive strip that comes across here. It's so unique, and I get it splits opinion. Love it, hate it, let me know in the comments below. GT version of the car will get an automatic boot. So it's about 50 litres up front with that frunk, and then 490 here. Then you have handles where you can drop the boot down. You've got a flexible parcel shelf. And what I love about it, yeah, you can put your cables in the front, but also there's a false floor here in the boot. We can actually store cables, drop down, a little bit of extra space if you need it. There's tethering hooks, you know, a lot of thought has gone into the boot. There's a 12-volt charger in here and lights as well. And then there's a tyre mobility kit 2 levels down below. So there's actually loads of little spaces where you can hide things in the boot of this. And it's a nice wide opening to get things into. There's no lip, so to speak, so getting pets and hauling stuff out a lot easier because you don't have that big huge lip drop that's there. There is a handle. You're not really going to use it though, because again with the GT version you have your automatic tailgate, which definitely makes life a bit easier. I also love this spoiler. It's kind of got a centerpiece into it that folds down, and then 2 extra winglets. You might think it's a bit Batmobile. It certainly sticks out at the side of the car over here as well, but I like it. So you're going to charge your EV6 here. You press the door. It sometimes wants to open, sometimes it doesn't. There's a button where you can close it, but obviously there's no button sticking on the outside of the car. That'd be a bit weird. So your charging port, your Type 2 cable, something like your wall box or your public on the street charger, just goes in here. Now I spoke to a guy recently who was in a Peugeot E208, and this thing, he'd no idea what that was for. So that comes out, and that's your CCS charging. That's much faster charging, and in the Kia, if you find something like an Ionity charger, you'll get over 200 kilowatts charging, which is really, really super fast. That is competing with Tesla in that space. Now using that charger, I had an issue. And if you want to watch the video of what happened, click the link or wait till the end of the video. I'll pop it in there. But that's how you access your charging port, and when it's charging, these white lights just keep going up and down. Give you an idea of how far charged your car is just by having a look at it straight out through the window of your house or whatever like that. That's it, simple. Oh, and vehicle to load is an option that's standard on the GT line again. It's like a little device thing that you can, that's a bit temperamental, that you can hook in here, and then you can actually put power back out of the vehicle, charge something else, a device, a fridge, a beach chill box, electric bike, whatever you like, if it needs a plug. And then inside there's something else as well, which is clever for charging. I'll get to that in just a second. Totally flat floor because it's an EV. Makes life a lot easier. Again, GT model. And some people ask me, is it worth the extra jump compared to the Ioniq 5 Premium? There's a lot of spec in this. Augmented heads-up displays, glass roof. There's lots of clever things, and I think it is. So there's a plug down here, and you can use that for obviously charging whatever you like. I don't want to say you definitely fit a human between 2 child seats, but it's not bad, and that flat floor definitely makes it a bit easier. Now at first glance you look at this centre column and you go, no, there's no vents, they're here. And the charging, they're on the side of the seats. Kia have done that with a good few models now, and I happen to like it. You get an armrest, you get access to the rear through just a smaller flap. They've obviously decided no one does use these things for skiing, but they might use them for bits of wood. So little door that opens there, and it does make life easier. Sunroof, as nice as it is, it doesn't come in here. So one, that's a positive. It doesn't impact on your headspace. But this black cabin, which is all right, but it is, it's brighter up front when you have even the blind open. But I think people are well served here. Again, the GT version of this gets rear heated seats for your passengers to keep their backsides warm, so they'll be happy out with that. And I think generally, leg room, everyone will be happy. These heavily tinted rear privacy glass windows, well, first of all, you have to hold it down. That's a bit annoying, but they go all the way down. And some kids love that, and it drives them mad that so many modern cars now it doesn't happen. Do you actually have to hold that button? It seems like you do. Right, I'll dock in a mark for that, but apart from that, I think it's deadly. You have memory seats that obviously adjust to your position when you start the car. It moves you, and there is a starter button as such. A lot of Kias allow you to put on a rear view camera even when you're driving. Same with this, it's just a button here. We have wireless charging. You can also charge maybe your AirPods down here. Huge big storage space for under the armrest, like really, really massive. Some people have asked me, do you get radar, cruise? Yes, you do. Button here. It syncs up. Everything you touch is vegan. Anything that feels leather is actually vegan. Even on the Earth model, you will get frontal collision avoidance, blind spot, lane keep assist. There's loads of different things that are standard for safety. And I suppose that's one benefit of Kia kind of simplifying the whole thing. There's 2 models, Earth, GT line, same battery, same output, same rear wheel drive system, everything's the same. It's just a difference of trim. USB down here, loads of options. 12 volts, USB-C, standard USB, big bucket of space if you like storing water and stuff. Just rubbish. My only fear is that's going to accumulate a lot of crap down there. Places for glasses and keys and all different kinds of things. Shortcuts to your seats are here. I love the way you can toggle between the two menus. So one button gives you shortcuts to your climate, the other gives you shortcuts to your media and nav, and then obviously you can use your screen as well. Now, a couple of things in terms of electric. So your regen paddles are here. There's 4 levels of regen. The 4th is really severe. It gives you pretty much one pedal driving. There's no doubt about that. Something I can't get my head around is when you plug in your car, you can time it that it'll come on in the morning. It'll preheat the car. Your heated seats will be on. Your heated steering wheel, I think, as well, if you want. And that's all lovely. But unless you have the car plugged in, even if you have 90% battery, it won't come on. Now, something like the ID3 from Volkswagen will do that if it has enough charge without any cables. So it means you're constantly plugging your car in to do that, from what I can see anyway, because I tried it like 4 mornings in a row. Whereas, you know, if you have loads of charge in your battery, and my experience of this car, for example, was I was needing to charge it once a week, you're not going to want to plug the car in every time. So that's kind of annoying. You can determine how much power leaves your car if you're using vehicle to load, but you don't seem to be able to cap how much charge goes in if you're using that. Anyway, it would be deadly if you could preheat the car in the morning, so without needing the cable plugged in. That's a bit of a weird disadvantage. I like the jog wheel for selecting reverse, neutral and drive. I mean, I think they've got the mix of screens and buttons fairly spot on. And does it feel like a €55,000 car in the same way an Audi may? It's not quite there, but it's definitely interior quality wise one of the best electric vehicles that you can get in the market right now. So the build quality, you know, will be better than Tesla's, and the fact that this car comes with a 7-year warranty including the battery, I think they're kind of standing over it. You know, the fact that the car has a heat pump as standard, you could argue that maybe in Ireland it's not cold enough to justify that, but people get really annoyed that something like the Skoda Enyaq doesn't come with that as standard. So I think you're better off looking at it than looking for it, you know, and I think the heat pump being standard is a really good selling point. I'm on a brand new road surface right now, and it's so smooth, it's so quiet, you can't hear a thing. And it's actually when you have the comparison of smooth roads and rough roads back to back, you realise a lot of the time actually it's not the tyres, it's the bloody road surface. Most of my driving this week I've just left it in normal mode. There is an eco and a sport. Sport, everything goes red, and you get a little bit more urgency when you put the boot down. But to be honest with you, I find the normal mode more than adequate for everyday driving and the type of power you're going to need. So I just leave it alone. Currently driving at an outside temperature of 9 degrees Celsius. That's heading towards the cooler side for batteries. This car has a heat pump as standard, which means you're not using your battery range to heat the car and precondition the battery and get that ready for operation. So fully charged this morning, 368 kilometers is what's indicated on the range, and that's taking in all those factors such as the outside temperature. It was interesting to notice yesterday it was about 15 degrees and the consumption straight away dropped down to about 17 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Motorway driving, when I took this car on the M1 yesterday at about 120 kilometers an hour using the radar guided cruise control, which is on this GT version of it. That's a standard. It was an indicated 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is generally what you will get with an EV. I've had the same performance figures in the Skoda Enyaq, Volkswagen ID4, ID3, all very similar. You put an electric car at a sustained 120 kilometers and it's going to use a bit more energy, same as a petrol or diesel car will use a bit more fuel at that type of speed. So a lot of people have replied to other videos, including my own one, of the EV6 and handling, ride quality. I've now driven the car for a week. 20-inch wheels, Ride quality is really excellent. While there's certainly a bit of feedback through the steering wheel and you can feel lumps and bumps that you're going over in a kind of, there's a sense of you're driving a car away. It's never uncomfortable. It's never sort of imposing on passengers. I'm not wincing going over bumps or speed ramps, even with 20-inch wheels. They're so big, these visors, and I have my seat on the floor. If I fully drop this down, you can't see out the windscreen. So just be careful the first time you lift that down, because it's huge. Another thing that happens with this car a lot is people are looking at you in traffic. It's obviously a brand new model. It looks quite radical. And with the change of the Kia badge as well, it just all adds to a combination of people saying, what is that? When you tell them it's a Kia, they're like, wow. Basically what I'm saying is people will be checking out your car's arse as you drive by them. Especially with an arse that looks like this. You flipped it into sport mode, it's punchy enough to give you a nice shove in the back. This car has something on paper, performance figures wise, not far off a Mark 7 Golf GTI. They're the things that, if you've never driven an electric car before, you add in a decent chunk of brake horsepower. I know the 500, almost 600 brake horsepower version of the EV6 won't be coming to Ireland, but this one at almost 240, I think it's enough. Also, I saw on the EasyGo app today just that 2 charges were in the Deer Park Hotel car park, and I was like, really? What? So I just spun up here, used the EasyGo charger, an app, really simple to use. EV6 is charging fine again, because whatever issue's going on, it's not a slower charging issue. 2 chargers here. There was somebody not plugged in and blocking one of these spaces. It was a 530e, so it had the capability to charge, just wasn't charging here. But I say hats off to them, because we need to normalise this kind of stuff. There needs to be more places you can just see these chargers. You can plug in, you can have a game of golf, whatever it is. We need these in more spaces. It will make people watching, you could be watching this right now wondering, can I go electric? And I'm sure it fills you with confidence, but it's only one very, very small example around Dublin where someone has actually taken the initiative to just say, yeah, let's get some chargers in. So it's really positive to see this, and well done, is what I'm saying. They haven't asked me to say this, but well done, Deer Park. Would I recommend the Kia EV6 to someone looking for an electric car? I really would. I love the design. I really enjoy driving it. It's smooth, it's refined, it's quick. It's got really fast charging capabilities. I will allow Kia the fact that all, so far, cars on the electric market have had some sort of teething problems, including the ID3, ID4. There was software issues at the start. The software in this car does not seem to have any kind of glitches in terms of speed, but it is disappointing that the fast charging didn't get going. Now, some people have suggested if I disconnected the 12-volt battery for 10 minutes, reset the ECU, that's all well and good when it's your car. It's not mine, so I'm not going to do that, but it is disappointing to see that happen, and I'm kind of surprised. If that issue wasn't there, I would be saying to you that this car is pretty much flawless, and at a €55,000 or 50 for the Earth model, it is expensive, but I would just keep going back to the fact that look at what you get in the spec of this car for that money. Look at some of the competitors on the market. There's going to be badge things, some people would be more comfortable paying that money for an Audi Q4 e-tron maybe, maybe not so much this, but I think the roof, the augmented heads-up display, the faster charge, the vehicle to load, there's so many things that this car has, and I think value for money, if you can say it in that way when it comes to Irish cars after the grant and stuff, they need to get rid of VRT on electric cars. If they want 100,000 a year, they have to get rid of VRT. Just get rid of it. I know that's easier said than done, but it would help, And for every litre of fuel that you buy, which isn't going into one of these, nearly €1 that's going to the government, so they're losing that as well. But it's either that or get fined from Europe year after year after year. So disappointing about the fast charging. I'm sure it's something that will be ironed out quickly. It doesn't seem to be a common problem, and I think this is a fantastic car, everything else considered. And would I buy it over an Ioniq 5, even though it's the same car underneath? Spec for spec, like for like? I think I would. Thank you very much for watching.